Finally, everybody goes. Roscoe has no more commissions. Siqueiros is a union organizer under arrest. So he comes to Los Angeles and he paints the first outdoor mural. And Arnold is the continuation of that. And Arnold comes to Mexico and he studies primarily Orozco and Siqueiros. Those are his two major sources. So, and he works with the medium. He knows about the experimentation. So he himself is the one who carries the banner of Siqueiros, technically speaking, plus the fact of muralism being central. That's another idea that hasn't been said. That Arnold remains. He becomes a muralist, no big deal in the 40s, but a big deal in the 70s and the 80s. I mean, who was doing murals?
We did the mural. We got the scaffolding, and Arnold got students from all over the place to help. And at first we were all terrified to go up on the scaffolding with like 6 floors of scaffolding up there.
Were you paid to work on the mural? Like, was Arnold paid? Were you paid?
I don't know. I was paid. I mean, I was just there for the experience. Yeah. I painted a big bunch of flowers up there. That was my part. It sticks out like a sore thumb. It's so different from everything else.
So here we have the Belkin mural in all of its deterioration.
In of its deteriorated glory.
Yeah. But you really still can see what Arnold Belkin was trying to do and where he came from artistically. And we'll see that later.
It's also important, it's also important that, as we were talking before, like about the community, and about it's important for the community. I mean, when you're restoring murals like this, you always have to weigh so many things besides aesthetic values, etc. I mean, you have to think about, does it still have value to this community? That is almost more important than maybe the quality, if you will.
Well, it's really interesting what you say, because the restoration project was initiated by the community, and yet within the community there were a lot of people who looked at this mural and said, huh? They didn't really get it. And when I've been up here a lot and I talk with a lot of people, and when I tell them what's going on, they begin to see the importance of the mural as a mural, even though the style is something that is hardly followed today. But the message of the mural, what Belkin was championing, the idea of a community having a voice in planning its own future, was very strong then, and it's equally strong now.
In 1972, when Belkin painted against domestic colonialism, there were 2 kinds of murals being painted. One set of murals was produced by an organization called City Walls, which were very large, geometric, highly colorful works of art. They were almost studio pieces projected on walls, painted by professional sign painters. Then there were community murals, which were basically put forward by the organization City Arts Workshop, where artists as directors worked for months with community groups to determine themes and develop content for murals. In 1972, perhaps only 5 or 6 of those murals were done. Then came the restoration of Curtis Park, where the architect in charge, Michael Outschler, wanted a mural as ornamentation for the park. He found Arnold Belkin, and he hired Arnold Belkin. And Arnold Belkin did indeed create a community mural, but it was a little bit different than the community murals to that time. But he did speak with community people. He got a sense of what was important, and what was important is pretty much in that mural by people holding aloft signs that say, "We the people demand control of our neighborhood." The early 1970s were right in the middle of the struggles of urban renewal. Neighborhoods were getting razed. for big buildings to be produced, a lot of which really destroyed the whole fabric of these very old established neighborhoods. And people wanted to be part of the planning process. And Belkin understood that. And he created a design that reflected that. How much input the community had in the design itself, in terms of the actual imagery, I don't know. But certainly their feelings that were expressed in community murals, he interpreted into the design that he created.